Hold on, let me put my. There you go. There you go. There you go. There's that logo, Midnight Coffee. Midnight Coffee with Octavio, guys. So yeah, contrary to popular belief, um, these ideologies are being pushed all around the world. It's not just in the Western world that used to be Christian, because the Western world is no longer Christian. Um, it's also being pushed in the Islamic world. It's also being pushed literally everywhere. Everywhere you go around the world, you will see communist countries. There's a reason why they hate religion and persecute people uh, who adhere to religion. So yeah, and guys, you're more than welcome to jump in. More than welcome to have this discussion with me. These are midnight coffee thoughts. I need to change that, to midnight coffee thoughts because that's really what it is. So yeah, and I'm not feeling too well, guys. I'm not feeling too well. It's been rough all day, but anyways, but yeah, I came across a few things. I don't know how much you guys read, but I do encourage people to start reading. Anyone who really interacts with this channel, I do advise them to start reading. And guys, just because you guys are not seeing me live, it doesn't mean you won't see me when I am doing live. You will see me. I will be showing my face and so on. And the plan is to really and truly eventually, make it into a video thing where you can actually see me live, even doing these coffee thoughts. But I think it's more important to listen. That sometimes it's more important to listen than just show your face all the time. But yeah, uh, and this is something that me and Hassan, midnight coffee thoughts, is something that me and Hassan actually came up with the idea. So shout outs to Hassan for that. And yeah, and I kind of liked it. But yeah, this ideology, these Western liberal ideologies, which comes down to secular feminism, secular humanism, uh, you will see that these ideologies are all the same. Okay, all these liberal ideologies are so the same. They all teach the same thing. I call them religions, and they are being pushed all over the world. All right, whether you live in a communist world, or you live in an Islamic world, this is being pushed all over the world. Even Israel. Israel, as you guys know, is a secular country. Exactly. And if you look at what the kind of ideology that's being pushed in Israel is very similar to what's being pushed in the Western world. It doesn't surprise me that Israel, up to a certain extent, gets a lot of help and backing from America, because America is pushing the same degeneracy that Europe is pushing, and the rest of the world is pushing. They trying to get the rest of the world to basically push, onto their countries. If you go to Africa, I don't know if you guys heard about Kenya. You know, American people going up to Kenya, American politicians and officials going up to Kenya and promoting LGBTQ and so on. So they are pushing these ideals. They are pushing these ideas all over the world. So this is not something that's specific only to the Western world. The bro OG1, shout outs to you, bro. Western liberal, the communist, extreme nationalism, and fascism. Yep. Which all boils down to really and truly leading to the destruction. It leads to atheism. Okay, they want to destroy the idea of God, and they want to rebuild that idea to. They want to destroy the idea that we currently have of God, and they want to introduce a new God. Okay, and this new God is the state, the government, and whatever the government basically wants you to do. All right. there's a there's a method to their madness. If Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. They're going to introduce a new religion. Liberal ideologies lead to a new religion. All right. A lot of people seem to think that liberal ideologies is the is this ideology that includes religion, and we're going to read up on this. I've got the Humanist Manifesto here. and you guys are going to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, you guys are going to understand what I'm talking about. A lot of people think that secular countries are good. Secular countries are good in theory. The idea of it is actually quite good, allowing people that have different ideas, different belief systems, different religions to kind of coexist. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the human nature is corrupt. The human nature is sinful. We are naturally selfish. We are naturally greedy. We are naturally, you know, it doesn't work, guys. It really doesn't work. Okay, so this and and if you need an example of how it doesn't work, just look at the Western world. The Western world has increasingly become more against Christianity. Secularism has it's it has become more hostile towards Christianity as time has gone on. You know, the bro John says atheism leads to genocide. Yes, that's right. Yeah. So secularism, the idea of secularism at first sounds good. All right. At first sounds good. Now remember, this experiment, this secularist experiment started in the 1700s with the separation of church and state. All right. So okay, these years well shouts to you, bro. Fresh and fit alive. I was just watching them. Yeah, so you have to understand one thing, guys. When I look at when I look at separation of church and state, the secular experiment, secularist experiment, uh, happened or started in the 1700s, separation of church and state. What that means is that the church or the Christian church was no longer in charge of the state and religion in the Western world. So it became up to the government, basically. All right. So the state was in charge of everything. And the idea of secularism is, yeah, everyone can kind of practice their religion and do what they want to do and so on and so forth. But because of human nature being as corrupt as it is, and any of you guys can join in, guys, by the way, any of you guys can join in. But because of human nature being as corrupt as it is, secular humanism doesn't really offer anything that stops the natural corruption that every human being has inside of them. Eventually, you're going to want what you're going to want. That's how human beings are. You're going to want what you're going to want. So even if you are living under a secular framework, eventually you're going to want what you're going to want. And if you look at uh secular, the Western world, the secular experiment, if you look at it, it has become more hostile as the decades have gone by. It has become more hostile towards what? Christianity. All right. And it continues to get worse and worse and worse. They continue to implement laws that literally leads to the self-destruction of well, of its own people. Seriously. Without You guys need to understand, without something like a religion or an authority beyond ourselves, I'm going to call it authority beyond ourselves, because every ideology is literally a religion, really and truly. Without an authority beyond ourselves, it it comes down to us deciding what is right and what is wrong. When it comes down to us deciding what is right and what is wrong, usually we're gonna go with whatever we want. All right. And unfortunately, that can become quite corrupt. When we are working with just ourselves, when we are the ones who decide what's right and what's wrong, and we don't have an authority beyond ourselves, eventually it will become corrupt. Eventually it will descend into slavery. It will descend into problems, because other people are going to want what they want. Okay, this is why atheism doesn't actually work. But secularism does lead to atheism. Atheism leads to nihilism. Nihilism leads to Satanism. Satanism leads to the occult. That's actually how it works. This coffee is good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not just saying it because it's my coffee. um, the Belgian says Mustafa Kemal Ataturk served Ottoman Empire Sultan, then he became president. He was a Muslim. Okay. Mustafa Kamel. Okay. Hold on. Mustafa Kamel Atatürk wasn't the Turkmen who did the Armenian genocide. Um, okay. Oh, he wasn't the one, yeah? All right. Because there was an Armenian genocide. KD goes, no, Hassan. Hassan is due to join me if he told me that he might be joining me in about half an hour or so. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, guys, the Midnight Coffee is just another show on the side, just me basically thinking a lot and wanting to share these thoughts with you guys, not just for you guys watching it right now, which I appreciate and love, but also for the other people that are not even able to interact with the channel right now because they're probably asleep or but there's also other people out there from around the world who are living under different time zones, you know uh who could benefit from having this show around this time as well. But it's a separate show from the live show. So it's not going to be the same. It's not the same thing. That's why I called it Midnight Coffee. I should really name it Midnight Coffee Thoughts. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. What what humanist what the Humanist Manifesto actually says. And I want you guys to understand why this is such a why these ideologies are so dangerous and why it's going to lead to the fall of the Western world and the entire world because this agenda is being pushed all around the world. And if you guys are not careful, you will fall for it, you know? And let's just get some facts out there. All right. These ideologies have directly contributed to the death of 76 million babies per year. All right, per year. We are currently literally dealing with a Holocaust all around the world because this is worldwide. 76 million abortions are carried out each year, something like that. Uh, Also, it has contributed to the destruction of the nuclear family, right? Because feminism is part of these ideologies, these liberal ideologies. So feminism, uh, it's all part of this ideology. Oh, and so the destruction of the nuclear family, the the death of 70 something babies worldwide per year. Uh, this is the reason why the Western world is not producing enough of itself in order to replace itself. Okay. So this is what these ideologies have contributed to. So the experiment has been done. We can see it in society. No one can look at society and deny it. The experiment has been done. We can see it. It's all over society. We can see what's happening. Relationships don't work between men and women, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let me just share my screen here with you guys so you guys can understand what secular humanism actually teaches, you know? Very important, guys. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm sure you guys can see this. I'm sharing my screen with you guys. Humanist Manifesto 1. Right there from the beginning, guys. Right there from the beginning. Religious humanists regard the universe as self existing and not created. Religious humanists regard the universe as self existing and not created. Just those words alone says that they don't believe in God. All right. So that's one thing. Whenever you think of humanism, secular, whenever you think of secular humanism, the first thing you need to understand is they are against the idea of God. Why? Because they believe, I mean, they even calling it religious humanist. This they it's not me calling it. Look here. Religious humanists regard the universe as self-existing and not created. They themselves, a lot of people don't understand what religion is. Religion has nothing to do with the main religions. I know the West likes to, whenever they speak of religion, they only speak of one type of religion. So they only talk about the three main religions. which is Christianity, Judaism, um, Islam, and then they go on to Buddhism as well, Sikhism. They don't talk much about those, but that's what they usually, when they talk about religion, they usually talking about that. Any ideology which people follow unconsciously or consciously are religions, guys. You are following a religion. If you base your life around those ideas, you are following a religion. All right. It doesn't matter whether a God exists or a God doesn't exist. It's still a religion. Buddhism, they don't believe in God. It's an atheist religion. All right. I'm actually going to show you guys something. Yeah, hold on a second. So bear in mind, think religious humanists regard the universe as self-existing and not created. So this religion called humanism, secular humanism, don't believe in God. That's the first thing you need to understand. Uh, and I'm going to show you how deep it is. Do you guys know that there's atheist churches now? Did you know that? Did you know that there's atheist churches now? You didn't know that. I'm going to show you a video, yeah? You're going to see atheist churches, man. I'm telling you. The bro John says people like to point the blame on the wrong people, and individuals of authority need to take responsibility. To be honest with you, the bro G1, it's up to us to take the responsibility. It's up to every single human being. We can't expect, look, every single human being, we all have the same nature, the human nature. And the human nature is flawed, is sinful. Well, that's what we teach in our religion. And why? Because we are tempted by the very same thing. All right. I'm greedy. I'm just as greedy. Sometimes people, we talk about people in authority, but do you know the temptations that these people are dealing with at the top? If a normal person who's at the bottom has the capacity to be greedy or selfish, remember someone at the top. And remember that you get more temptation at the top than you do at the bottom. So if you can see people at the bottom being selfish and greedy, imagine the level of temptation you get at the top. It's harder to become a good person. Katie says, Octavio, you must sleep late, don't you? Yes, I do, bro. Yes, I do. I wake. No, bro, I hardly sleep. I'll be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hardly sleep, man. I hardly sleep. Let me show you this video. Yeah, this is gonna crack you up. Watch this. Watch this. You guys want to see? You want to see atheist churches? Remember, atheism is supposed to be I don't believe in God. All right, God doesn't exist. They've got atheist churches now, bro. Why would an atheist have a church? I'm gonna share this with you guys. Yeah, I'm just typing it in. This is what I'm saying. Because every ideology is a religion. If you agree with it, that means you believe with it. There we go. So, guys, these are just my midnight thoughts, guys. Feel free to join, guys, if you want to. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me share this with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. You guys can see it, yeah?
This video was made possible by support from Sacred Rights, an
Watch
initiative
this.
based at Northeastern University dedicated to public scholarship about religion, as well as our awesome patrons on Patreon. Over the past few decades, the United States has seen tremendous growth in a population commonly referred to as nuns. NONES. In other words, religiously unaffiliated people, the people who check the no religion box when asked what is your religion on a survey. Nuns is actually shorthand for a rich diversity of opinions.
Did you guys hear that?
From people who say that.
Oh, my bad. You guys can't see it, in it. You can only hear it, right? Oh, you guys can see it. Okay, you guys can see it. You guys can see it, yeah.
they're spiritual but not religious, to people who identify as agnostic, humanist, or atheist. It's difficult to estimate the size of this population, but it is growing. In fact, Americans identifying with no religion has recently surpassed the share of evangelical Christians in the US population. 23.1% of the population compared to 22.8% of the population. But the story of religiously unaffiliated people is way more than these statistics. For example, do they have beliefs? Do they have rituals? Do they have an alternative to theistic religious gatherings? These questions give us an opportunity to study a movement taking place over the past few decades, the rise of what religious studies scholar Dr. Anthony Pinn calls churches for the godless, the rise of atheist, agnostic, and humanist alternatives to theistic religious gatherings.
Humanist alternatives, guys. Pay attention. All right. Okay, just because you don't believe in Christianity doesn't mean you don't subscribe to a religion. Whatever you believe in, that's your religion. Don't be blind, don't be an idiot. Whatever you believe in, that's your religion. And most people unconsciously subscribe to religions like humanism, feminism, um, secular humanism, feminism, liberal religions, basically liberal ideologies. That's what most people truly believe in. When you actually break down their entire lives and how they live their lives, you will see that most of these people actually live according to what feminism teaches them, what secular humanism teaches them, and so on and so forth. Whether they agree to it or don't agree, of course, everyone does it at different degrees. But don't forget, even the laws that even the laws in this country, because the dominant the dominant religion or dominant ideologies are these ideologies. Even the laws are shaped around these ideologies. This is why you have abortions. This is why you have the pill. This is why you have this extreme hedonistic culture that we currently have. This is why, look at Christianity. Christianity promotes the idea of marriage. You will see that with these ideologies don't promote the idea of marriage. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So it's opposite. It's opposed to the Christian ideology, to the Christian way of thinking, to religion, basically. Christianity is pro marriage, uh, and they are against marriage. This is why they're trying to destroy it. They've got the no fault divorce now. Christianity is pro life. It's about saving lives. They are against lives. You can see that the dominant ideologies, dominant religions, the in the Western world are opposed to what you know the Christian religion teaches. So you have to pay attention. Just because you say I'm not a Christian, just because you say I'm not a Jew, I'm not a Muslim, it doesn't mean that you don't follow feminism. It doesn't mean that you don't follow secular humanism. It doesn't mean that you don't follow liberalism. Um, so a lot of people like this idea of I'm not a Christian. Yes, so what? It doesn't mean anything whether you're Christian or not. You know what I mean? If I was to put a camera, and this camera was to observe you day and night, and go about your way and look at everything that you do every single day, if I was to do that, you will see that most of what people do today, whether they believe in Christianity or not, or Judaism or Islam, it doesn't matter. You will see that a lot of what they do actually coincides and agrees with feminism, with liberalism. So that will be your religion. What a person believes in affects the way they think. It affects the way affects their behavior. But I'm going to show you something that's crazy. Yeah, what's this? What's this? Check this out. Look, there's a bunch of atheists in the church.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom of.
Today, the Sunday Assembly, or as it's better known, the Atheist Church, is launching 35 new services in cities across the world. There's ones in New Zealand, Hungary, France, the UK, and 16 here in the US. So I'm here at the one in Strongsville, Ohio, just outside Cleveland, and we're going to see what it's all about.
nature's way of receiving you. It's nature's way of retrieving you.
Look what he's singing. It's nature's way of receiving you. It's nature's way. Remember the law that I read out to you guys. Yeah, remember the law that I read out to you guys, where they basically saying that they believe that the universe is all that there is. You know what I'm saying? Basically denying the idea of God. Look what they sing. It's nature's way of receiving you, is nature's way of loving you. So the idea is there is no God. Everything starts with atheism. You see what I'm saying? The rejection of the idea that there is an authority beyond you. An authority beyond you is what you would call God. All right, it's the entity that you would call God. So what they wanted people to do is they wanted to remove that authority. So the entity, so that what people would believe in is themselves. Because if there is no God, then who decides what is right and what is wrong? You. All right, but you would be fooling yourself if you think that you're the one deciding what is right and what is wrong, and not the dominant culture around you. All right, this is why they call it survival of the fittest. The entire evolution theory is basically it's the atheist religion, really. It's atheism, because they believe that nature produces life. It's nature that produces human beings. It's nature that produces it's nature that, of course, that's scientifically impossible. We've never seen nature produce life. We've just never seen it. All right, and when I say life, I'm not talking about human beings I'm not talking about life or life that already exists. I'm talking about, how did life begin? How did the first human beings come about? All right, how were they created? We can't grab the elements, put them together, and create life out of it. It's impossible. We can't do it. So this is the reason why once the scientists are dying to figure out how to create how to use nature to create life. So yeah, let's just carry on with this.
It's nature's way of telling you something's wrong.
What's your background? Were you raised in a religious family? Did you go to church?
I think I was saved twice, so it obviously didn't take.
You were saved twice?
Yeah, recently I've just been debaptized, so I have the actual certificate to show that I've been debaptized.
How did you get debaptized?
Well,
dry you excessively.
Remember, guys, these are people that don't believe in God. These are people that don't believe in God. If you don't believe in God, what are you doing there? Why do you feel the need to worship something? Because you're not worshiping God. You're worshiping who? You're worshiping nature. You're worshiping yourself. This is how crazy it is. This is how crazy it is. But yeah. Hold on a second. This is madness, man.
The central idea we need to spread is that we have only one life, which means that that life has to be lived to the fullest. There is no second chance, no opportunity to have a do-over. There is no afterlife in which wrongs are righted and cosmic justice meted out to the evildoers.
The Sunday Assembly was started by two British comedians, Sanderson Jones and Pippa Evans. They held the first event in London in January 2013. After that, Jones and Evans found that people were getting in touch, asking if they could set up their own Sunday Assembly. What is it like being a now quite prominent atheist and organising something like this? Do you get any pushback from people who are religious that you know?
I do have several close friends who are religious. One of my best friends from high school, she is a pastor. I actually turned to my pastor friend to ask her, how do we start a church? And she gave me reams of advice, lots of great ideas.
So your pastor friend gave you advice on how to start a godless church?
Exactly, yes.
Every one of you has a story that's brought you here today. Something brought you.
You don't want to be a Christian? It's fine. All right. Go do your own thing. We don't stop you from doing what you want to do. Even if we think you're wrong.
Here to this point in this particular amazing location. And I really like this. I mean, it's almost. Almost.
How did you become an atheist, or were you raised an atheist?
Religion does a lot of things well. What they do not so well is inculcate hate, intolerance, and all sorts of things that are anti-human. So this brings the best and leaves the worst out.
What is your background then? Were you raised?
Anti-human, intolerance. Have you guys ever seen a preacher being insulted, abused, you know, by atheists? Would that be considered as intolerant? Anti-human. These guys legalized abortion. Anti-human? You see the problem with that way of thinking?
With a sort of religious aspect or anything like that? in your
I
life?
was raised like by militant atheists, and I feel like there's like a lot of people suffering and screaming, and who are their lives basically suck because religion is keeping them down.
All right, how you feeling? You feel that tingles? All right. Oh, so, okay, all right, you can put your arms down now.
Yeah.
So, all
Why
right.
do they feel the need to come together? Why? You're an atheist. You don't believe in God. Why do you need to do that? Why do you feel the need to say this is nature's way? Why? You're searching for meaning in life. That's what you're doing.
So how important is what's happening today? You know, in the US, there's 16 of these assemblies launching today. There's already some that exist.
Right.
It seems to be a growing movement. How important is this kind of thing in perhaps trying to win back some of that territory from religious people?
I mean, you got to hand it to religion, like churches and so on. They provide a sense of community. They provide a sense of belonging to people. And so it does serve that social purpose, which I think what the Sunday assemblies are trying to do. They provide an institutional framework whereby people feel a sense of community.
I wish them all well. I wish them the best. But yeah, guys, let's deal with I think the guy who said intolerant is woke. LGBTQ. I'm telling you guys, this is something else. Hold on a second. Let me let's go back to the Humanist Manifesto. Let me share that with you guys. Oh my days, this is just madness, man. This is just madness. I'm not gonna lie. This is crazy to me. This is whew. We'll see how well they are doing as time goes on. All right, let's Humanist Manifesto. There we go. All right, so now we've established this is the Humanist Manifesto 1. Religious humanists regard the universe as self-existing and not created. So it wasn't created by what could have created it. If we're talking about something that's created, we're talking about God, right? Okay, so they reject the idea of God. That's it. All right. That's what evolution managed to do in the mid 1800s. That's what that was the purpose of evolution. Okay, evolution is a lie, guys. Evolution is a lie. The idea that life, it's abiogenesis that really they tried to say that it's abiogenesis and evolution. It's not linked to each other, but it really is. Okay, you can't have the idea of evolution without having the idea of abiogenesis. How did the first single-celled organism come about? It came about through what? Through the elements. Prove it to me. Nah, they can't prove it. That just shows you that it's all bullshit. And this is being taught to kids, and we share common ancestry with, and this is being taught to kids in every single school. So what that has done, if you look at what it has done to the Western world psyche, is made them believe that life started with nature, did not start with God. Okay, so that's how the whole thing began. That's how this whole process began of convincing people that it wasn't. If God didn't create life, then God becomes just a fantasy of our imagination. And that was the purpose of it, is to remove that belief in God. So the second one is humanism believes that man is a part of nature and that he has emerged as a result of continuous process. There you go. They reject the idea that God created man. So that, by saying that man is a part of nature, and that he has emerged as a result of continuous process, what they are doing is they are affirming the idea of evolution. They are affirming the idea of abiogenesis being true and evolution being true. I completely reject that. Why? Because there is no scientific evidence that proves any of that. Um, okay, third, holding an organic view of life, humanists find that the traditional dualism of mind and body must be rejected. There you go. Holding an organic view of life, meaning life coming from nature. They when you're talking about, they reject, humanists find that the traditional dualism of mind and body must be rejected. So there is no such thing as spirit, soul, mind, body, and so on. So those concepts there, because they believe that it came straight from nature, nature is made of matter. Okay. um the universe is made of space, matter, and time. So since everything is made of matter, there's no such thing as the concept of the mind being separate from the body, or the spirit being separate from the body, and so on and so forth. Do you see what I'm saying? The soul, the idea that human beings have a soul, that does not exist. So everything is matter. So I would love to know what accounts for our thoughts. Where can we identify, how does matter, you know where is matter in terms of how we think? You see what I'm saying? How we produce thoughts. I would love to see how human beings produce thoughts. I would love to see that. Is it just a process of neurons interacting with each other? Is that what it is? Chemical reactions in the brain? Is that how we produce thoughts? Is how we make sense? Can we identify these chemical reactions and make them produce a certain type of thought? Can we do that? I don't think we can. Humanism recognizes that man's religious culture and civilization, as clearly depicted by an anthropology and history, are the product of a gradual development due to his interactions with his natural environment and with his social heritage. The individual born into a particular culture is largely molded by that culture. Basically, this is just another way of mocking human beings. That's all it is. Sorry, mocking religion. They're trying to mock the idea that religion is nothing more. It's tied into us, into a survival mode. Okay, and that's why religion became important. It's basically saying that once technology came about, religion basically became irrelevant, which is absolutely stupid, because religion talks about morality, talks about what is right and what is wrong in our relationship with the creator. Or religion is a revelation from God, and it talks about our relationship with God and deals with morality, nothing to do with technology at all. All right. It talks about right and wrong. So this idea that the reason why we were religious in the past is because we needed technology. It was because we didn't have technology back then. It's the reason why we needed religion in the past, and it was tied into our survival mechanism. uh, you know, so that so we would pray to get rain because we didn't understand where. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the mind. That's what basically they try to say by that. But what we are seeing consistently here is the rejection of God and religions that believe in God. This is what basically we are seeing here. All right. Fifth, again, they go into the same thing. I'm actually going to share the other one because they kind of go into this a lot. Humanism asserts that the nature of the universe depicted by modern science makes unacceptable any supernatural or cosmic guarantees of human values. Humanism asserts that the nature of the universe depicted by modern science makes it unacceptable any supernatural or cosmic guarantees of human values. Basically saying that there is no such thing as objective reality or objective morality. Sorry, objective morality. There is no such thing as objective morality. So this is the idea that morality is malleable, or it can be subjective. That's what they're basically saying here. Obviously, humanism does not, then it goes on to say, obviously, humanism does not deny the possibility of realities as yet undiscovered, but it does insist that the way to determine the existence and value of any and all realities is by means of intelligent inquiry and by the assessment of their relations to human needs. Intelligent inquiry. Please tell me the intelligent inquiry that went into deciding that gender is a social construct, gender is not tied to your biological sex, that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. Please, does that sound like intelligent inquiry to you? Does that sound like something that doesn't produce? Please tell me the intelligent inquiry that went into same-sex relationships that doesn't produce life. Please tell me, how is that intelligence? This is what I'm trying to say. Once morality becomes subjective, anything goes. And they are proving my point. And look what they're saying. Religion must formulate its hopes and plans in the light of the scientific spirit and method. I thought there was no such thing as spirit. There's a scientific method, but definitely not a scientific spirit. Religion must formulate its hopes. So they want all religions to basically stop believing what they believe in and accept the new religion, which is the scientific spirit and method, which is decided by who? The powers that be. If they say go, if they say this is true, even though there's no evidence for it, like evolution, for example. This is what I'm trying to say. All right. So what we are seeing is the denial of what you guys have just seen in these. Of course, I'm not going to read them all, but what you guys have just seen is the denial of God. All right. The denial of religion. All right. The denial of objective morality. All right. And they want all religions to basically stop believing in the idea of God and basically change they want all religions to change to mold their religion according to what I would call the new religion, which is secular humanism. KD says, nah, we need to shut this down. The Brogy one says, I think the guy who said intolerant is what I read that one. They called it a church. Exactly. That's supposed to be a church, guys. Yeah. Now I want to check this. I want to show you something else here. This is what I'm trying to say, guys. This is, you're dealing with a religion. All right. You're dealing with secular humanism is a religion. Look at the Western world. Everything that I've just read, everything that I've just explained it to you, just think about it. Yeah. Isn't that how most people, regardless of what religion they come from, isn't that what most people are going into? The Western world is becoming increasingly atheist. There are more atheists now in UK than there are Christians. It's becoming increasingly atheist, and it all started in the 1800s with the idea of evolution. All right, the idea of evolution then went on to develop into feminism, secular humanism. Well, first for secular humanism, then evolution, then feminism, and then all these liberals, wokeism. That's it, wokeism. But if you look what I've just broke down to you, isn't that what you're seeing in society? People become increasingly more atheist, denying the belief of God. All right, this is what's happening. I have no religion, I have no nothing, when really and truly they're just following this religion. This is the religion that they're following. This is it. I don't have no religion, but I live my life according to how secular feminism tells me to live my life. I live my life according to how feminism tells me to live my life. But I don't have no religion. They don't even understand the definition of religion. Religion doesn't say you're a Christian or you are Muslim. Religion is just a person that believes in something, in a higher power, in a higher power, in something, in an ideology. That's religion. If you believe in an ideology, that's it. But most human beings, they try to get most human beings to believe that they believe in themselves. Believe in yourself. Yeah, you believe in yourself, but yet you're living in a culture the dominant ideology tells you to, for example, go and live a hedonistic lifestyle. Goes and tells you to kill your own baby. Goes and tells you to not get married. Goes and tells you to follow the red pill. And then you act out these things. And then when someone says, yo, but you're living your life according to that. Yeah, but I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in Islam. I don't believe in Judaism. As if that makes a difference. You're still following something. All of you are following a religion. For those that don't subscribe to the main religions, which is, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, for those that don't, you need to start searching your own soul and find out, okay, I'm not following those religions, but what religions am I following? And for that, you have to analyze your own life, your own lifestyle, what you do, what you don't do. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm going to show you guys this. This is to do with humanism. For example, ideas like abortion, where it comes from secular humanism. Hold on a second, guys. I've always wanted to break this down to you guys, and I'm going to keep breaking it down. I'm going to, keep sharing these thoughts with you so that you guys can start understanding what's really going on. All right. There we go. Okay, again, this is from the American Humanist Association. And they have a lot to say, guys. But just to show you something quickly, we already seen that they are against religion. They are against the idea of that. They're against the idea that there is a God. They are against the idea the idea of religion. They are against the idea of they're against the idea of objective reality. They believe that objective morality. So they're against all of that. Look. Check that. This is 6, right? This is the section called the individual. Look what they're saying here. 5th. I'm going to go back to the top as well, yeah. But just look what they're saying here. 5th. The preciousness and dignity of the individual person is a central humanist value. All right. They use words like preciousness and dignity. It's far from precious and it's far from dignifying. All right. But they use these words to basically draw you in, to make you feel special. And this is, people need to understand that language, the way they use language, all right, is very important to attracting people to believe in their ideology. So the preciousness and dignity of the individual person is a central humanist value. Individuals should be encouraged to realize their own creative talents and desires. Be careful. It sounds good at face value, but it's not. Individuals should be encouraged to realize their own creative talents and desires. What do you mean by desires? Desires could mean anything. So when they say individuals should be encouraged to realize their own creative talents and desires, be careful of what they say in there. Because right now, look how many genders we have. That literally is the definition of people's desires. Look what he's saying, we reject all religious, ideological, or moral codes that denigrate the individual, suppress freedom, dull intellect, dehumanize personality. Look what they're saying. We reject all religious, ideological, moral codes that denigrate the individual. What do you mean denigrate the individual? They don't actually. What does it mean to denigrate the individual? How am I denigrating the individual? For example, if I say to you that let's say you're born a man, and I say you are a man, and they said, no, I feel like a woman. Yeah, I know you feel like a woman, but your biological sex is that of a man. So therefore, that makes you a man. According to them, that's me denigrating the individual. Then they're going to say suppress freedom. According to them, that would be me suppressing freedom. Then they're going to say dull intellect. According to me, that's what I'm doing. That's considered dull intellect. Dehumanized personality. Personality. Where's personality? How one feels. Yeah, you feel like that, so that's your personality, right? And this is what I'm trying to say. It's all, if you look at it, first of all, they don't define what they mean by denigrate. What is it about what religion teaches that denigrates the individual, for example, suppresses freedom, dehumanizes personality? What is it about it? They don't define that, so we don't know that. All right. Then they say we believe in maximum individual autonomy, consonant with social responsibility. Bro, that's just another way of saying do whatever you feel. Whatever you feel. Oh, by the way, that's a satanic law. That's the main law. Do as thy will. Do whatever you feel. Maximum individual autonomy. They although science can account for the causes of behavior, the possibilities of individual freedom of choice exist in human life and should be increased. Right. Really? Okay, let's see. In the area of sexuality, we believe, this is the sixth one. In the area of sexuality, we believe that intolerant attitudes often cultivated by orthodox religions, it's all against religion. Listen, secular humanism is all against religion. It's all against what religion teaches. So in the area of sexuality, we believe that intolerant attitudes often cultivated by orthodox religions and puritanical cultures unduly repress sexual conduct. All right. The right to birth control, abortion, and divorce should be recognized. There you go. The right to birth control, abortion, and divorce. Need I say any more? Need I say any more? Need I say any more? It's all the same thing. You see, when we talk about feminism, it's all the same thing. Feminism, secular humanism, it's all the same thing. They are all part and parcel of the same thing. Guys, you have to pay attention, man. You really have to pay attention. All right. Believe you me, if you find yourself engaging in any of these ideologies, consciously or subconsciously, believe you me, all right, you are following a religion. That's their religion. This is the satanic religion. You're talking about, Satanism. This is Satanism. This is the occult. And this is why I say the purpose is to bring about a new religion. And the question of the topic is: Will feminism, secular humanism destroy the West and the world? Yes, it will, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys why. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you guys why. All right. I should have had this up already. I'm going to show you. We're not reproducing enough to replace ourselves. Excuse me. The words. Not just typing here, guys. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna decline it. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna share this with you guys so you guys can see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna stop sharing that. And we're just gonna go through a few things, and then you guys can see it for yourself. Any society that doesn't replace themselves, any country that is no longer replacing themselves. It's not a good look. Let's just put it that way. It's not going to be good in the long run. There's definitely an agenda there. If you're not replacing yourself, there's definitely an agenda there. All right. So look. The West is not reproducing to replace themselves. Okay, just all right. That's the first one. This is in 2019 NBC News Americans. Okay, really? Americans are having fewer and fewer babies. Americans are having fewer and fewer babies. A new government report finds, in fact, we now aren't making enough babies to replace ourselves. Let me read that one more time for you guys. Americans are having fewer and fewer babies. A new government report finds, in fact, we now aren't making enough babies to replace ourselves. For the population to reproduce itself at current numbers, the total fertility rate needs to be 2,100 births per 1,000 women of childbearing age over their lifetime. Researchers for the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention said in their report released early Thursday, but the latest data show a current rate of just 1,765 per 1,000, or 16% below the number needed to keep the population stable without additions through immigration. Yeah, you're gonna need to bring people from different countries. The total fertility rate has been declining steadily for 7 years, but the numbers for 2017 represent the biggest drop in recent history. The rate for 2016 was 1,820.5, for 2015, 1,843.5, and for 2014, 1,862. All right. Oh my. You would think that, replacing yourselves would be a priority. Well, we have become increasingly selfish because of ideologies like secular humanism. So what do you expect? Now, check this out. Why is UK birth rate declining? Hold on a second. This is now the UK, right? This is going on all across the Western world, by the way. By the way, Hassan, look, if you're coming in, if you're joining, bro, there's the link right there, yeah? Okay. All right. Just check this out, guys, yeah? Declining birth rate in developed countries. A radical policy rethink is required. There is a concern about declining birth rates in both the developing and developed world. Fertility rates tend to be higher in poorly resourced countries, but due to high maternal perinatal mortality, there is a reduction in birth rates. In developing countries, children are needed as labor forces and to provide care for their parents in old age. I don't want to hear about what you think happens in developing countries because they produce more babies than you guys. You guys have everything in the West. Why are you not producing enough to replace yourselves? This is what I want to know. In these countries, fertility rates are higher due to the lack of access to contraceptives and generally lower levels of female education. Look, check the propaganda right there. Even though they know damn well that um it's because of contraceptives, it's because of abortion, it's because of feminist policies that goes against marriage. They know for a fact it's because of these things that the birth rate has declined. But look at the language that they're using right here. In developing countries, children are needed as a labor force to provide care for their parents in old age. In these countries, fertility rates are higher due to the lack of access of contraceptives and generally lower levels of female education. And it's been proven that the more educated a woman is, the likely she is to initiate divorce. But look at the language. In these countries, fertility rates are higher due to the lack of access to contraceptives and generally lower levels of female education. The very two things that has contributed to the low fertility rates in the West, and has contributed to the fact that the West is not reproducing enough to replace itself. The social structure, religious beliefs, economic prosperity, and urbanization within each country are likely to affect birth rates as well as abortion rates. Developed countries tend to have a lower fertility rate due to lifestyle choices associated with economic affluence, where mortality rates are low. Birth control is easily accessible, and children often can become an economic drain caused by housing, education costs, and other costs involved in bringing up children. Higher education and professional careers often mean that women have children late in life. This can result in a demographic economic paradox. Where is it? They're trying to tell me about the you know they're trying to tell me about what's going on in other countries when I just want to know what's going on in the UK. We're talking about the Western world. The total fertility rate of our population is the average number of children that would be born to a woman over her lifetime. If she were to experience the exact current age specific fertility rates through her lifetime, and she were to survive from birth through the end of her reproductive life. These guys are not. Where is it? Did I? Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Just looking. UK. Hold on. British women each had an average of around 2.6 children. Now it is fewer than 1.6. For the first time ever last year, half of women reached their 30th birthday without having a child. The fertility rate in UK is now well below replacement rate. There you go. There you go. That's what I was looking for. They're trying to tell me about other um, other countries in order to try and justify what's actually going on with their own country. Jokers. Um, across the nations, check this out. Across the nations of the developed world, the birth rate is collapsing. In the 1960s, look, across the nations of the developed world, the birth rate is collapsing. In the 1960s, British women each had an average of around 2.6 children. That was in the 1960s. Now it is fewer than 1.6. For the first time ever last year, half of women reached their 30th birthday without having a child. The fertility rate in the UK is now well below replacement rate, and it continues to fall. Are you telling me if women are reaching the age of 30, yeah, which by then 90% of the eggs are gone, all right, are you telling me that's not due to a policy called pursue your career or have a job? All right, are you telling me that's not because of that? All right, before feminism became very prevalent and widespread in society, this wasn't happening. Women were having babies much earlier. So you're telling me after feminism became very prevalent and um very influential in society, you're trying to tell me that it's not because of this that women are not having children by the age of 30. I mean, according to the statistics, they even say by 2030, women by 2030, 50% of women will be single and childless. Come on, man. So this is what I'm trying to say, guys. This is what I'm trying to say. And this is all due to these ideologies. Secular humanism is in agreement with feminism when it says that they support the idea of abortion. Oh, Hassan is here. Hassan is here. Yes, Hassan, my
How
brother.
you
What's
doing?
going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. I was just scrolling, so I realized you're on live. So let me just.
Yeah. What do you think of what I've been talking about recently?
So what? It seems like the path of avoiding religion has led to another form of religion.
Wow, that was so beautifully said.
Is that right?
That was so beautifully said. It was like poetry, man. It was like
Oh,
poetry.
sorry.
Say that again. Say that again, bro. Say that again.
I don't even remember. What did I say?
Stop it. Stop being modest, bro. Just say that again.
What was it? Something like the
pause. That was
partake.
beautifully said, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah. Fair enough. The path taken to avoid religion has led to a new religion or something like this. Is that right? No.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm discussing is a lot of people, whenever they think of religion, they only think of, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Sikhism. Do you see what I'm saying? But mainly the three main religions: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, right?
Yeah.
And I always found it funny, bro. I seriously, I've always found it funny that they really think that that's all religions are. That's all religions mean. They don't understand that. Like, you are Muslim, right? And you believe in Islam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you believe in Islam. You see, but take away the term Islam, you believe in it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's your belief in it that allows you to go up, so let's say if we replace Islam with secular humanism, let's say I believe in secular humanism, all right, and then that means my religion would be secular humanism because I believe in secular humanism. Now let's take away the word secular humanism and say I believe in the ideas of secular humanism, but I don't believe in secular humanism per se. I just believe in the ideas of it. You still believe in secular humanism.
Yeah.
So if I believe in it, am I not going to align my thinking, align my day, align my, what I do in life? Am I not going to align that with what I believe in? Don't people do that?
Yeah.
Isn't that how we choose?
Yeah. But the question is, what leads people down this path? I don't understand. What type of personality is this?
Sorry?
What type of personality leads the person down the alternative path of either setting up their own religion or following a new one?
Well, there's two answers to that. There is what society promotes. So you've got peer pressure. Peer pressure. Like when we look at, for example, Neon. Neon, that when
Oh, you made a video on it, or is it coming out yet to be released or something? Or?
It's been released, yeah. And basically,
Okay.
what I'm basically saying that, which is to answer your question,
Yeah,
is Neon went and said he's no longer a Muslim, right?
yeah, yeah,
Then he starts up and he apologizes.
yeah.
Now, that's a very serious thing to say.
He apologized for saying he left the faith.
Yeah. First, he says on the video, I'm not a Muslim. I'm a new man. I'm a new man. You know, I resigned from Islam or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, rightly so, the Muslim community said, "What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you crazy?"
Mm-hmm.
And we found out later that he was just trolling,
Oh, okay.
because he apologizes, right?
Uh-huh.
But that's not a joke.
That's weird. Yeah, that's very weird.
But the thing is, you have to look at.
Having said that,
Yeah.
do you remember one of our last sessions? I mentioned a friend who got married, and then his wife was giving him orders, and then within 6 months,
Yeah, I
he
remember
was
that.
Muslim. Yeah, he was Muslim. She was Christian.
Yeah,
Remember this?
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I know KD and OG1 remember, because I remember they were asking me questions in the chat.
Yeah.
At the time, if they're still with us, I don't know if they're still awake watching this late
Yeah,
night coffee.
they've been coming in and out. They've been coming in
Yeah,
and out.
put a one in the chat if you remember the story.
I remember. Just see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember the story. Yeah. Go ahead.
He many years before stopped believing in a hadith, which basically accusing the companions of the Prophet of being liars and criminals and untrustworthy people not
Mm.
worthy of listening to, and he just started believing in the Quran alone. And he said, "Yeah, I don't believe in the Quran. I don't believe in hadith anymore." Blah blah. And nobody in his social circle, none of us agreed with him, because we thought it was weird. Why would somebody do this? And so yeah, technically from Islamic Sunni traditional, from the Sunni tradition, he left Islam, because once you give up the hadith, you've pretty much left Islam.
Yeah.
99% would agree with this, because the hadiths are what the Prophet said. You don't know how to pray without them. You don't know how to do hajj. You don't know how to do a lot of things, because most of it's not in the Quran. The Prophet Muhammad is meant to be an example, and so on and so on. So this concept of being so certain that a tradition that's served so many people for so many centuries, whether they be rich or poor, smart or dumb, young or old, black or white or whatever, right? That you know better, and that without even collecting comparative data or having objective, how can I say, objective arguments to prove your point, just in isolation, saying I don't believe it, and just going from there, and just make clear things as you go along. That personality type usually is an indication of a person's personality generally, right? It's not a case of this is the one thing that's odd and everything else is normal. No, usually these type of people that say I'm not Christian anymore, but I believe in New Age spiritualism or whatever those videos that you were giving examples of. They're usually people that have not necessarily a high opinion of themselves, but a low opinion of others, and probably, in my little experience, have a father issues, right? Either an over, yeah. Either the father is they perceive their father as being pathetic, or they have how can I say, a dysfunctional relationship with their father, and it usually stems from that. Human psychology and behavior, whether it be religious or irreligious, they can't be disattached.
Yeah. I reckon that's the perfect example to actually answer the question that you asked. What happened is, after he left Islam, it's not as if he left Islam and he went straight into an ideology, a different ideology that would have grounded him. Did you see what I'm saying? He left Islam and he basically became open to the dominant ideology that controls the culture. What do I mean by that? Let's say someone
this is Neon.
Yeah, let's say someone leaves Christianity, and they go into Islam.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a foundation to work with. in terms
Yes.
of what is right, what is wrong,
Yeah.
what is not right, what is not wrong.
Where'd you go? What do you do?
Yeah, what you do, how you structure your life, and so on and so forth,
Yes.
morally, in
Yes.
every way, right?
Yes.
But they have that foundation, they have that structure, they have that thing there that
Uh-huh.
they will align themselves with. Now,
Yes.
let's say someone,
Yes.
and this is because, let's say someone leaves Christianity and then doesn't go into any of the any of the religions, where it doesn't go
Yes.
into Buddhism, doesn't go into Islam, doesn't go
Yes.
into Sikhism, doesn't go into any of those religions. Just,
Yes.
you know, a lot of people don't know. Okay, what happens to those people that just, okay, they've left the thing, they don't go into any other religion? What are they going to end up following? I would argue that they would end up following themselves. Now, but the truth is, they are not going to end up following themselves. They are going to end up following the dominant culture, or what the dominant culture believes in. And this is what happened to Neon. Neon was raised, Neon was raised in this in the Western world, and Neon, and this is what happened to Neon. Neon was raised in the Western world and the dominant culture. So you leave all these other religions, all this, you don't go from one religion to another. So what happens to you? A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm gonna follow myself. I'm gonna, okay, following yourself means you decide what is right and what is wrong. But that's a delusion in itself, because if you're living in a society that has a dominant culture, so that has a dominant belief system, like the dominant belief system in the Western world is feminism, secular humanism, and so on. This is what most people are influenced with. You're going, just by peer pressure, you're going to end up following them. You're going to align with them, whether you are consciously of it. Of course, they're going to call it, I'm following myself. They're going to call it, yeah, I'm doing me. But really and truly, you're going to end up following something. You're going to have to make a decision about something. You're going to have to structure your life in a certain way. You're going to have to decide what is right and what is wrong at different times during the day. So, and if you're not following, let's say, Islam or Christianity, that gives you, a concept of right and wrong, and allows you to structure your life in a certain way, you're going to follow the dominant religion, or the dominant belief systems that controls that culture that you're living under. You see what I'm saying, Hassan? Oh, sorry. Uh, guys, if you don't hear Hassan, he might be busy. He might be busy doing something else quickly. You know what I'm saying? But he's coming back. But yeah, and this is my point. Just because you don't think, and the deception is this idea that people, um the deception is this idea that people are following themselves. No, you're not following yourselves. It's called the survival of the fittest. And according to the survival of the it's not the survival of the, is it survival of the fittest? I'm just thinking. There's another term for that. Is it another term for that? Basically what I'm saying is, it's like, you're going to, the dominant belief system will have a huge influence on you if you don't have a religion to structure yourself, to structure your life around. All right. And that's what religions do. Religions basically allow you to, when it comes to the side, it tells you what is right and what is wrong. It tells you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. That's how religion structures your life. And if you don't have a religion that you agree with, that you structure your life around, you're gonna end up following the dominant culture, and that in itself is a religion. That in itself is a religion. Why? Because that's what you're structuring your life around. Whatever belief
Yeah.
that. Do you see what I'm saying, Hassan?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to step out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't have to explain it. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, and it's not a suitable alternative, because it goes with the crowd, and the crowd is animalistic, hedonistic. Religion is there to limit you from your own evil and to increase your own good. It tells you to be patient. It tells you to, I mean, for example, fasting. It's only now that we discovered that fasting eats dead cells and is good for you for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
Telling that to a people, you know, whether it be Christians or the Jews, I think you guys fast for Lent, whatever it may be, telling that to a people 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, don't eat, considering they, in most cases, you had limited resources anyway, and you're lucky to make sure that you have a regular diet. Is forward thinking. It understands the human being, but when it comes to how can I
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
these new age religions, they're like, you know those products that are made in China, that, you know, they're very close to the authentic thing, but don't be surprised if things just don't make sense and don't work out properly. And but you're the beta test, right? If it doesn't
Yeah.
serve you in your life, because there's a lot of people, when they left Scientology, they reported a lot of abuse because the religion set up in a way that certain people have a status that can't be questioned, and other people have to obey them in some cases and take abuse pretty much.
Mm.
And when a religion is newly made, man-made, made up based on desires by one person who has the intention of just benefiting from the masses, whatever it may be, you the individual is the beta test. You as an individual will be open to a lot of abuse, misguidance, being taken advantage of. You have you remember that TV show called Smallville? Back in the day, it was a Superman TV series on Channel 4.
What was it? Was it called?
Smallville. It's a TV show.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I
Yeah,
don't. Right?
it was on TV back in, like, it was basically Superman's the early years. So it was a right show, sci-fi show back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I remember watching it while I was at school, and there was an actress on there that she left after the series ended. She joined a cult, and in that cult, the head of the cult was just taking advantage of women, and she was responsible for finding these women. And
Mm.
so you had multiple sexual partners. If you see him, he looks like a normal IT guy, just a regular liberal, you know, presenting a new faith or a new cult that allows people to be the best version of themselves or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Turns out he was taking advantage of the women, yeah, and she was finding the women, and now she's in prison for God knows how long. I think 40 years or something.
Mm.
And that's the problem with man-made religion. Man would benefit, but the question is, who's the man? Is it you, or is it the guy that helped you sign up? It's just
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, when people say, yeah, I'm not, let's say they leave Islam or they leave Christianity, right? And they say, I'm gonna follow myself, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think to me, I call that a religion, by the way. Doing what I want to do, to me, that's a religion.
Yeah.
Because you have to unpack that. What does that mean? You're going to do what you want to do. All right. And a lot of them deceive themselves into thinking that they're actually going to do what they want to do. No, what you're going to do is you're going to follow what you've just described, Hassan, as the crowd. You're going to follow the crowd. That's what's really going to happen. So, but people deceive themselves. Okay, I'm not a Muslim no more. I'm not a Christian because for whatever reason, I don't agree with something about Christianity. I don't like the fact that the priest abused the child. All right. I don't like the Quran for whatever reason. Right. Okay, fine. You left the thing, right? And people will do anything to to stop following the truth. And then they turn around and they say, oh, then they say, I'm gonna, okay, so what are you gonna follow now? You know, imagine I'm having a conversation with a person like that. Imagine what you're gonna follow now. You know, I'm gonna follow myself. But what does that mean, following yourself? It means, to me, if I listen to that, it means following your own desires, following whatever you feel. Now, I mean, so that's what I would understand when someone says, I'm gonna follow myself. So that, okay. And then when you look at, but the truth is this, you're going to follow society. You're going to follow the dominant ideology that controls society. And when I look at the West and I look at the dominant ideologies that control the Western world, I see feminism, I see secular humanism, as I've already broke down, I see atheism, I see all of these ideologies are the ideologies that control the West. So when people say, abandon religion, I'm not going to follow this religion or that religion anymore, I'm going to follow myself, they are deceiving themselves because they don't understand that they are going to going to succumb to peer pressure and end up following the dominant ideologies that currently control society. Any one of you guys watching, if you're interested in jumping in and giving your 2 cents, the link is there. The link is there. This is Midnight Coffee. I'm here with my brother Hassan, and we are just discussing a very important subject that I think it will be beneficial for you guys. But yeah, jump in if you want to jump in, guys. But do you understand where I was coming from with that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and what's your thoughts on that?
It seems like organized religion stops humanity from becoming a pack of animals, and people just really just don't. How can I say? Those a few won't accept it. Something along those lines. If I understood it correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, they are coming up with structured religions. That they are coming up, for example, like if you look at secular humanism, it outlines exactly what a person should believe in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not as if it doesn't tell you what you should believe in. The secular humanism manifesto, it outlines exactly what you should believe in. So this is why I call it a religion, because it's telling people what to do, what to think, what to deny, what is right, what is wrong. That's what you find in the secular humanism manifesto, and that is I find that's why I call it a religion. That's a religion. You see what I'm saying? And it's disguised under the idea of you're just doing what you want to do. You shouldn't stop yourself from doing what you want to do, but then it goes on to tell you what you should do, which is very deceptive. Do you see what I'm saying? It's very deceptive. So what we are seeing is destructured religion. When feminism says women should have the right to reproductive rights, which is the right to kill unborn babies, that's telling a woman what they should do. That's telling a woman what you should do. So that's a religion. Any framework that tells a person what to do, that's a religion to me. You see what I'm saying? That's a religion to me. And I'm thinking a lot of people these days are following religions that they don't, because of the concept of religion only stops at Christianity, Islam, Judaism. Because it only stops there, people think, yeah, when I don't follow these religions, I'm not following nothing. No, you are following something. You're following the dominant cultural belief system, which is in the Western world, feminism, which is being pushed all across the world. Like I said, it's not just in the Western world. This is being pushed all over the world, and we've got examples of it being pushed all over the world. You yourself, you mentioned how Saudi Arabia got clubs now. The Dubai is becoming extremely westernized. We look at even in Africa, you see politicians, American officials basically going to America, American politicians, and basically promoting LGBTQ rights and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
In communism, the abortion rate in communist countries, it's very high. You see what I'm saying? So feminism is definitely working over there. The idea that God doesn't exist. If you look at when I look at the West, it's becoming increasingly atheist. When I look at communism, we know already communism is against religion, so they are atheists.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's all heading towards the same path,
Unfortunately, path to destruction.
A path to
Of
destruction.
the self and the collective.
Okay. Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. I got your message, bro. I got your message. Definitely.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna end soon anyway as well. Yeah.
I'm
All
gonna.
right,
I appreciate the thing. Sorry I couldn't be there today, but
nah, come on, man.
go on,
It's all
go
right,
on,
bro.
please.
Jump in for a while. That's what matters. But yeah, bro. I think I proved my point anyway. All right, my brother. You take care. Yeah. You take care.
Take care, bro. Take care, bro.
All right. Okay, guys, listen. I'm gonna end the stream here. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are just some of my midnight coffee thoughts. And what I want you guys to take from here is, just because you are not following, you know, mainstream religions or what the West would define as religion, doesn't mean you're not following a religion. Religion is just anything you believe. Anything you believe, that's a religion. All right. So if you believe in gangster music, that's your religion. If you believe in watching corn, that's your religion. If you believe in, you know, living a hedonistic lifestyle, materialistic lifestyle, that's your religion. You need to understand that religion is anything that you believe and you are willing to apply into reality, into, you know, into the world. And if you allow yourself to believe in it, you're more likely to apply it into the real world. So yeah, and you are more willing to allow it to affect how you behave, how you think and behave. So guys, watch out for that. All right. So just because you're not following Islam, you're not following Judaism, Christianity, doesn't mean you're not following a religion. All right. So the solution is, be careful with what you believe in. Examine your mind, examine your consciousness, be honest with yourself. All right. Because if you're following feminism, if you even if you don't believe in feminism, it doesn't matter. If you say to yourself, have you ever spoken to a person that says, I'm not a feminist, but yet everything that comes out of her mouth is literally from the Feminist Manifesto? All right. What that means is that you can unconsciously be indoctrinated to believe in something. You see what I'm saying? So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave you guys here, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Salute. Take care. See you next time.